I truly can't remember the last time there was this much BS going on in the college football world, and it's overwhelming just to keep up with. No, the questions are not answered. He said right here, I am down to 3 schools, Alabama, FSU, and Georgia, but he's got Colorado on his official visit list. What in the world is going on with college football? For it to be the quote-unquote off-season, which, by the way, I don't believe because there is no off-season, this is some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. The 3 topics we're going to talk about in today's video are the definition of crazy. Or maybe they're not all crazy, but what I meant to say was the college football world is going crazy. The landscape is going crazy. The 3 main topics we're going to talk about in today's video, by the way, hope you're having a great Sunday, is number 1, the new, and I've never seen this before in my life, the top 100 players list for college football. It's been released. We're going to take a look at that, but also, I don't even understand how this is working. A 5-star recruit has narrowed his options down to 3 schools. Those 3 schools are Alabama, Georgia, and Florida State. Okay, nothing to talk about, nothing to freak out about. Why are we talking about it? Well, it's because he's taken 4 official visits and he's going to Colorado. So riddle me this and we're going to talk all about it. How have you narrowed your options down to 3 schools, but as you see right here, you have 4 official visits set? That alone is causing a lot of confusion in the college football world, but also we got some breaking news. This is arguably the biggest news and what I'm so excited to get into. The new college football NCAA 2024 game is coming out. Hold your horses, partner. It is not coming out this summer, unfortunately, but it's coming out next summer, and here's the kick. They're going to be paying every single player that's in the game. There's a lot more to it, and we're going to talk all about those topics in today's video. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday, and yeah, it's rather simple. If you like our content, consider subscribing, join our community. If you don't like it, then don't join. All right, Matt, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, to start off this video, I got some bad news and I got some good news. The bad news is, for yet again the second straight video, I'm going to put off the top 100 players list to the next video. I'm sorry. For the second straight video, I wound up talking about these other 2 topics longer than I thought we were going to. And I don't want to make this a 25-minute video because I don't think you guys want to see a 25-minute video. So we're putting that off to the next video. That's the bad news. But the good news is we're going to talk about it in tonight's video, the one after this. I promise we're going to talk about this top 100 players list because I know you guys want to get into it, you want to see it, and I want to get into it as well. So if you are one of those people that care about that topic, just stay tuned for tonight's video, trust me. Now, with that being said, let's get into one of the most exciting things ever. We got to talk about how the NCAA 2024 college football game, it is coming back. Oh man, music to my ears. I remember growing up, NCAA 11, 12, 13, 14. I remember I still got the copy of Mark Ingram when he was on it, Robert Griffin III, and I think the last guy that was on the cover, wasn't it the quarterback from Michigan? I'm drawing a blank, can't remember his name. What was his name? Wasn't it Denard Robinson? I do believe that was the last one. That was my childhood playing those games. I love the games, and unfortunately, as we all know, they did away with them, but now they're bringing them back. And if you've been keeping up with this situation as closely as me, because I want the game to come back, they were supposed to release this game this summer, 2023. Some things happened that got pushed back. It happens, but now it's supposed to be coming out next year in 2024, the summer of 2024. And before we get into this, I'm going to tell you guys straight up, if they bring that game back, I will be live streaming that game. We're going to post some videos on it. You better believe that. Let me know in the comments section, would y'all want to see me stream some NCAA 24? I think that'd be fun. I wouldn't mind doing that whatsoever. If they bring that game out, there's also so many different videos we could do with it, but that's a different conversation for a different day. What we are here to talk about is the game in itself and the stuff that's going on. I've been following this very closely, so reportedly it's been leaked out that the video game will be featuring the names and likeness of real players. Because remember, if you played these video games from not 29, but 2009 up until 2014, you would know they would have the numbers of your favorite player, but they couldn't have the real names. Well, now they're going to have the real players, real names, everything. But whoa, hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not quite as simple as you may think it is. To have these players in the said video game, like a Caleb Williams or whoever's playing college football at the time, how do you put them in there? You got to pay them. That's the catch. Back in the day when they were making these games, they didn't have to pay anybody. But now, you got to pay every single player because of name, image, and likeness. It is what it is. It's a cold, harsh reality, and I'm not against it. If a company is going to use you in their game, yeah, they got to pay you. And that's the reason they stopped making these games in the first place. Because athletes were like, yo, how is this fair? We're not getting paid a dime and y'all are making games off of our likeness and image. So I understand that argument completely. Here is the official statement from EA Sports to ESPN, so you need to follow along very closely. An EA Sports representative confirmed to ESPN on Wednesday, which was only about 4 days ago, it has contracted with One Team partners to quote-unquote facilitate collegiate athletes' names and likeness into the game. This is solving one of the major questions about college football's return to the video game space. Here's the real interesting part. The partnership will include the chance for all, not just some, but all of the eligible FBS players to opt into having their likeness in EA Sports College Football. Those players that opt into this will receive compensation for being placed into the game. Wow. So my immediate reaction to that is, okay, are we going to pay every single player in the game $5, or some players going to get $10 and some players get $1? Obviously, they're not going to pay them $5 or $10, but I'm just trying to dumb this down to give you a perspective. Because to me, at least, I'm just giving you my perspective, and everybody should feel the same way. If I'm the starting quarterback for Alabama and I am throwing for 5,000 yards a season, I got 45 touchdown passes, yeah, I do think I deserve to be paid more to put into your game than a third stringer on Chattanooga State Water Aquarium Community College. You see what I'm saying? That's life. You're more valuable, so you should be getting paid more. It is the same principle with men's and women's sports. What do women say? Oh, we want to be paid the same as men. Well, fun fact for you, women's sports actually lose money for the college level and pro level. I bet a lot of you didn't even know this. Every single women's sport for every single Power 5 team, they lose money for the university. The Alabama softball team, the Alabama women's basketball team, the Alabama women's everything, and it's not just for Alabama, it's every SEC school, every Power 5 school, they lose money. The one athletic department for every Power 5 school that generates more money than it loses is more times than not basketball, but that can be razor thin margins. But for most schools, it's football. Football is the reason Alabama can have a softball team, a women's basketball team, a lacrosse team, etc. A soccer team. I could continue to go on and on and on. My point is, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. In this life, 99% of people, you're paid by how valuable you are to that company or whatever. There's a reason Elon Musk is going to make more money than the guy who's actually working on the Teslas, because you can replace the guy working on the cars. You can't replace Elon Musk. The same analogy applies to this NCAA 2024 game. People are not going to be buying this game because of a third stringer that's playing on Chattanooga State Water Aquarium Community College. They will be buying this game because of some quarterback out there that has taken the world over by storm. So that's what raises the question to me. Is every single player going to be paid the same? And if they are paid the same, I think we're going to see some big problems ahead in the future. But I'm going to be honest, I don't care about them big problems. Just bring the game out, because we need this game. Continuing along here, speaking on what I'm talking about, details such as how much an athlete will receive and the structure of payments are still being finalized. But, here's the big but, the EA Sports representative said the goal is to be quote-unquote as inclusive and equitable as possible. Going back to what I literally just said, the One Team website, the company stated that if the influence of an individual's sales could not be figured out, including for video games licensing, then the quote-unquote revenue will be divided equally among the athletes included in each licensing program. You see, that sounds complicated, and it is complicated because that's where things get tricky. You actually can't really determine and figure out how much of an influence Bryce Young has on kids wanting to buy the game just because Bryce Young's on the cover of it. You see what I'm saying? Because when I walk into GameStop or I order it on Amazon, you don't know if I'm buying the game because I'm a Bryce Young fan or I'm a fan of Colorado or a fan of whoever or a certain player. You get the point. That is the gray line in all of this. You don't know how much of an influence every player has, so they really don't know how much to pay every single player. Continuing along here, and this shows you how far along they are in the process, the representative said more than 120 FBS schools have committed to being in the game. So it's really looking like we're going to have a game with all the players in it and all the teams. Here is something key to mention and throw in there. If a player elects not to be in the game, which I don't know why he would, but if for some reason a player's like, nope, I don't want to be in the game, then it's just going to be like 2013 when they create a fake player. One of the only big-time schools that hasn't confirmed they're going to be in the game, they're still thinking about it, is Notre Dame. It's nothing too crazy. They just don't know if they want to be involved with the NIL and all that BS that goes on. They haven't said no, but they're one of the few schools that haven't said yes. I think I speak for everybody when I say this. We don't care. And I don't think the makers of this game care too much. You're not going to lose money because you don't put Notre Dame into the game. The only way you would lose money is if you don't put Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, like a big time school. Notre Dame is a prestigious brand, and I know there's a lot of fans a part of them, but it's not the biggest deal in the world if they're not a part of this game. I hope they're a part of this game because, I mean, it's Notre Dame. They're relevant in college football. I'm not going to act like they're not relevant, but y'all know how I feel about them. They're overrated. Overrated brand, overrated school, always will be an overrated team. Should be banned from the college football playoff and should be banned from being ranked inside the top 10. I will stand on those words until Notre Dame proves me wrong and wins the national championship, or not just the national championship, just can win the big time game. That is the newest updates on the college football game, and really, that is one of the only times, if not the only time, I've ever talked about it on this channel. And the reason I'm just now talking about it now is because I finally feel like we're getting somewhere. All I've heard since 2018 is people say, oh, the game's coming back, but nothing's been official. Now it's official. It's coming back next summer. And I'm going to say this. I moved into my new house about 1.5 years ago. By the way, house tour's coming soon. I'm still working on some things. And since I've moved into my new house, I haven't even hooked up my PS5. I don't even play video games. But I will tell you this. When that game comes out, I ain't going outside. I am going to be as pale as Howie from the Benchwarmers. If you saw that movie, you know what I'm talking about. I will be playing that game 24/7. Don't call my phone. Don't text me. Don't do anything. I'm playing the game. I need to make up for lost time. I need to make up. It's been 10 years since that game came out. Can y'all believe it? 10 years. I need to make up for lost time. I could go on and on about that topic, but we got to get a move on to our last and final main topic of this video, and it is no other than this strange story that's going on with this 5-star recruit. Yeah, this is very, very, very odd. Even to this day, we haven't even resolved the issue, or nobody has an actual explanation. You'll see what I'm talking about. This guy you're looking at right here, he's a 5-star cornerback that goes by the name of Charles Lester. He announced his top 3 schools he was going to visit, which is Florida State, Alabama, and Georgia. No problem. But here was the problem when you looked into it. His official visit with Florida State was scheduled for June 16th, but he also had an official visit set up to Ohio State for June 16th. Not even the Flash himself could take a visit to Ohio State, which is at the top of the United States, and Florida State, which is at the very bottom, in the same day. So that was going viral all over Twitter. Everybody's like, wait a minute, how's he going to Florida State on June 16th and Ohio State on June 16th? What's going on? So what he winds up doing is he announces, okay, I'm going to cancel the Ohio State June 16th visit, and I'm just done with them. They're not even in my top 3. So Ohio State quickly went from the top 3 to, okay, I'm going to cancel my visit, and yeah, I'm not even considering them anymore. It's a weird situation, to say the least, and I've told you guys time after time, I don't even get caught up in high school recruitment processes too much because these kids, they change their mind every other day. But this right here was odd because I've never seen a situation before where a guy has a visit scheduled to 2 different schools in the same day. But then to go on top of that, one of the schools he was going to visit, Ohio State, he just takes him off the list entirely. So what does he do? He puts out this tweet where he's apologizing for the confusion, but the tweet was even more confusing than the actual scenario. Check it out. He said, sorry for the confusion. Here's my official visit schedule. Not quote unquote, my bad, parentheses. I will no longer take an official visit to Ohio State University. I'm down to 3 schools. UA, which is Alabama, FSU, Florida State, and UGA, Georgia. All questions should be answered here. Alabama, June 2nd through the 4th. Colorado, June 9th through 11th. We'll talk about that in a second. Florida State, June 16th through 18th, and Georgia, June 23rd through 25th. No, the questions are not answered. He said right here, I am down to 3 schools, Alabama, FSU, and Georgia, but he's got Colorado on his official visit list. So that right there has raised the question that even I have. If you are down to 3 schools, why are you visiting Colorado? If they're not even in the mix of things, why are you going? I myself, I've been through the recruitment process, not to this level and extent where I got 50 schools calling me, but I've gone on a couple visits here and there. That was when I was in high school, and a lot of people were saying in the comments, oh, well, he's just going to Colorado for a free visit and for some free entertainment and food and blah, 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 blah. Well, here's my thing. Going on visits, yeah, it's a cool experience, but it's not necessarily the most fun thing in the world. You don't take a plane ride to Boulder, Colorado for a couple of days just for the funds of it. You don't spend June 9th through the 11th at Colorado to waste your time and everybody else's time. So with that being said, I don't like how he said, I'm down to 3 schools, but you're visiting 4. No, you're not down to 3 schools. You're down to 4 schools. He should have just tweeted out, hey, I'm down to 4 schools. I don't know why he's trying to put out there he's down to 3 schools, but he's visiting 4, because no, that's not how this works. if you are visiting another school, they're a part of your consideration, so you're down to 4. I can't emphasize that anymore. I'll say this much, let me know your thoughts down below. He's most definitely interested in Colorado. If he wasn't interested, you wouldn't be going. And here's a little fun fact for you. From all the reports I've seen, there's about a 90% chance he goes to Florida State. And, I've seen this story before. I've definitely seen Deion Sanders steal some Florida State players. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's something to keep your eyes on, a weird recruitment process. We talked about a ton of stuff in today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below, but roll with me.